All right, I'm Charles at Charles King Property Preservation Training Academy. Today, I'll be discussing with you the characteristics to look for in a good helper, and I'll be giving you my 5 key tips in selecting and keeping the right kind of helpers. Okay, selecting the right kind of helper is tricky. I know it may seem as simple as asking a best friend, son, daughter, neighbor, uncle, aunt, cousin, parent, just to lend you a hand. But in the long run, I have found this to be the most frustrating selection of help, especially when they aren't familiar with the type of work you need assistance with. The problem is, using people that you know versus people who are fit for the job is, people you may have to convince them that the job isn't going to be that bad, it won't take that long, and so forth. On top of that, selecting people that you know comes with you having to listen to them run down their availabilities, what their needs are, negotiations and prices, and a bunch of complaints during the job and excuse making. People who are fit for the job already know what the job consists of. They're familiar with the type of work and are comfortable and familiar with the going rates, and chances are you won't have to hear them doing a bunch of complaining. In short, helpers may come, helpers may go, but it's the how long they'll stay gone is what I'll be helping you determine. Which brings me to my first tip: know your helper's limits. Knowing your helper's limits is crucial to keeping them over the long haul. Everyone won't be fit or comfortable with doing every job that your property preservation company offers. Some may only be willing to do maid services, some may only be willing to do trash outs, while some may only be willing to assist you with small maintenance repairs. And then you'll have others that are willing to do whatever you have. Point being, know what your helper is willing to do and don't push them or try to convince them into doing something you know that they don't want to do. This is a sure way to get the answer machine when you call them when you need help on your next job. Which brings me to my second tip: don't overwork them. It's easy to get into the daily hustle and bustle of the property preservation industry. You as a business owner and an employee of a company have made a commitment to be successful and consistent in your operations. On the other hand, your helper has not. They are there to help you along the way until you're able to put them on the payroll or give them a more permanent position within your company. So don't expect them to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week like you do. You just burn them out and you'll lose good help more times than not. And speaking of how many hours a day you use your helper, it brings me to my third tip: pay your help what they're worth. Now, I know this can be a difficult thing to figure out, as every helper thinks they're worthy of a 6-figure salary for 10 hours a day, 4 days a week. But I've found that knowing the true value of your helper is vital to the success of your business, especially in the beginning stages. When I first started, it was just me and one helper, which I called my partner at the time because it was just he and I on every job in the very beginning. I offered him a percentage stake in the company, but he didn't want to wait around until my company got ground because of his own personal reasons, family, bills, things of that nature maybe. And at the time, the percentage that I offered him wouldn't have been enough to take care of his family the way he wanted to. So we settled on a price, which brings me to my fourth tip: don't pay by the day. I know this may be tempting because you have some extra cash laying around and you can pay your helper each day after the job. But I have found this to be one of the worst things you can do. Your company's #1 life source is cash flow. I go into this topic in great detail in my course. But in short, all of the cash you have on hand should be used to gain more business, not to pay for help to complete current business. Your helper should be willing to, at best, receive a paycheck at the same schedule as you. In this way, you reserve your cash for main business operations like gas, materials, tools, and things like that. Your weekly tab can become very costly in the property preservation industry. So don't do it. But if you must, let it be known that it's just a one-time thing and it won't be on a normal practice in the future. And speaking about the future brings me to my last and final tip, tip 5. Pay them on time. There's been many times where my client didn't pay me on time and I had to come out of my pocket to pay my help because it was not their fault my company didn't receive pay from its client. My worker done their job and they should be paid at the time and date I agreed to pay them. And this is how business is done. So always have a cash reserve in the amount that you will have to pay your helper if your client or customer doesn't pay you. Pay them on time and in full. This will ensure into getting your helper back out on the next job. No one likes excuse makers in business, so pay your helper on time and collect from your clients and customers on your own time. Now, beneath this video, I have a free training guide with a few more tips and secrets on how and where to find good helpers. So click the link and download the free guide now. Once again, I'm Charles, a Charles King Property Preservation Training Academy. Till next time.